This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening on this President's Day, a day of action, protesting the new administration. Across the Bay Area, including Oakland and San Jose, people came together to push back against President Trump's policies, including his crackdown on immigration. San Francisco also taking part in these national protests. And as our Kara St. Cyr shows us, one group focused its efforts on a Tesla dealership.
Two groups came together to protest President Donald Trump and what they call an overreach of executive power. The message is loud and clear. Protesters intend to push back against President Donald Trump and Elon Musk's attempt to shrink government powers. This demonstration is one in a series erupting all over the Bay Area. Leading the charge in San Francisco Monday is Patty Model-Mog.
I'm very terrified of what's to come, and I think we need to get Elon Musk out of government.
Model-Mog wants to accomplish three things: encourage shareholders to dump Tesla stock, keep Musk's influence out of government, and get him out of the White House, period.
Hey!
Model-Mog led hundreds of protesters to a Tesla dealership, where she hopes to discourage people from supporting the brand. Other demonstrators say the recent actions by the newly established Department of Government Efficiency and the president threaten vulnerable groups like the trans community. Lindsay Collins, a school teacher in the city, says this visibility is important.
This is not normal. What's happening is wrong, immoral, dangerous, and it threatens democracy and everyone, regardless of your race, religion, or status here.
I haven't seen one ever!
But not everyone was in agreement. One man driving by the protest said the message needs work.
Let's have a clear message. Let's not just keep saying the same rhetoric.
The protest circled the block twice before demonstrators went their separate ways. Demonstrators say this is the first of a string of protests to come.
You know, we also heard from a Bay Area Republican who used to be the California Party chair. He says he expected this kind of pushback, but believes most Americans are behind President Trump's policies.
So it's not surprising when a new president comes in and want to take things in a different direction that people are still disagreeing with them. But I think on the issues so far, the strong majority of Americans have been with President Trump. He still has to deliver economically, but on issues like cutting the size of government, I think there's a strong majority in favor of that.
In a recent CBS News poll, 53% of respondents say they approve of the job that President Trump is doing overall. 70% say he's doing what he promised in the campaign, but one key issue looms. Most Americans say the administration isn't focused enough on lowering prices. Inflation was a key reason Mr. Trump won the election. All right, on to some terrifying stories from survivors. They're emerging right now after a Delta Airlines plane flipped over and landed on the roof at the Toronto airport. Look at that. It just flipped. In the past hour, fire crews have confirmed 18 passengers were hurt, including a child. There were 80 people on board. All of them survived.
We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
Obviously, incoming calls there. This cell phone video showing passengers evacuating the plane crash. You can see one by one, they exited the overturned plane onto the snowy tarmac. The Delta flight was operated by Endeavor Air, a regional carrier. It was coming from Minneapolis. 76 passengers and 4 crew were on board. So let's show you another cell phone video. It's showing just how chaotic it was inside the plane. Flight attendants helping passengers get out. Many people walking away appearing to be okay. Officials say all of the injuries were relatively minor. One passenger calmly described the scary landing.
Hit the ground and the plane went sideways, and I believe we skidded like on our side and then flipped over on our back. So I was upside down. The lady next to me was upside down. We kind of let ourselves go and fell to hit the ceiling, which is surreal feeling. And then everybody was just like, get out, get out, get out. We could smell like jet fuel.
How is he so calm? All right, it's not clear yet what exactly caused the plane to flip, but weather will be a key part of this investigation. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada will take charge, and then the NTSB and FAA will send U.S. investigators as well. So the crash in Toronto comes as the Trump administration has started to fire several hundred FAA employees here in the United States. The union representing the workers says that includes probationary employees who handle radar, landing, and navigational aid maintenance. The transportation secretary posted on X tonight that no air traffic controllers or critical safety personnel were let go. The cuts come just weeks after the deadly midair collision at Reagan National Airport and a medical jet crash in Philadelphia. One aviation expert we spoke with told us today the move is concerning. He says there were 300 other close calls in the past year alone, and that the precursors should not be overlooked.
Aviation is a threat-rich environment, and it's only because of the superb actions of the crews, the first responders, the controllers, everybody behind the scenes going above and beyond that we have as safe a system as we do. Having said that, the incident rate is extremely troubling to me, and we need to be looking at the incident rate, not the fatality rate. And this incident in Toronto does have a lot to do with the U.S. system, because the FAA regulates the procedures that were in use at the time in that cockpit, whether or not they were landing in the U.S. or not.
Okay, so after all of this, many of us may be asking, is air travel safe? We heard from another expert about her perspective.
The industry at large certainly will be looking to see, are there any common underpinnings across these accidents that we should be addressing and going after to try to prevent future occurrence. But, you know, I guess I go back to, if you look at the accident rate of air travel, especially in a country such as Canada or the United States, it's safer than walking, cycling, getting on a ferry, a train, or driving your car.
And stay with us for continuing coverage. We'll bring you the latest developments on the crash on our newscasts and our website at KPIX.com. Violence broke out this weekend at two popular entertainment destinations in San Jose. In one of the incidents, a 15-year-old boy was stabbed and killed at Santana Row. An online fundraiser for the teen says he was attacked Friday night while on a Valentine's Day date with a girlfriend. He was taken to the hospital and later died. Police are still looking for the suspects. Meantime, 8 people were arrested and 4 officers hurt after a brawl broke out at San Pedro Square early Sunday morning. This happened in the area of Santa Clara Street and San Pedro Circle after midnight. Police say officers were attacked when they tried to take one of the suspects into custody. And backup officers showed up and the suspects were then arrested. The officers are expected to be okay.